trap, munch a hornets dance, snap back caps, at rallies, ready, spirits never lack, thoughts and pride but style in the swag sack, in the quad, we ain't never gonna stop, in the quad, we always on top, in the quad, feel the music drop, in the quad, boots run deep.
What's going on, HBCU family? It is Monday, December 2nd. And after a week off, a week of replays, I know y'all got tired of that, we are back with a brand new episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden. I am your gracious host, Nick Eden, and I got to shout out a couple people real quick. The first I got to shout out is S&E Gear in Montgomery, Alabama, located right by the campus at Alabama State, for this great Hornet beanie that I got when I was at Turkey Day Classic. Also got a shout out College Connection for my Yarda ASU hoodie. And a couple other things, man. I got a dope bag. Look, I'm telling you something, man. I'm really enjoying this kind of newfound folks are like, hey, I rock with you. I want you to, show some gear. So I wanted to just go ahead and shout out those two. Also, big shout out to the Yard Apparel. Had me definitely fitted right for Turkey Day Classic with my 100-year anniversary shirt. And for what it's worth, shout out to the Bama State Nation, Hornet Nation, for like literally almost every shirt that I saw, every piece of gear that everybody was wearing, all of it was not only Black-owned businesses, but very largely the Yard Apparel, who is an Alabama State alum, and other alums. So you always got to love when you see people supporting, the folks that are a part of the culture. So I just wanted to give them a big shout out on that. And shout out to you all. This has been a crazy week. What's going on, Jay? Jay, what's the good deal? Hey, listen, I'm waiting on Travis to give me my send me my email with my credentials. But even if I don't, I'm still coming to the game because I still want to support. So I will definitely see you at the SWAC Championship. It'll be our first time. I think Jay, it's our first time meeting in person. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, Trav, man, I need you to go ahead and shoot that email over to me with those credentials, man, so I can make sure I'm good to go when I get in there. I want to get some good footage. I think it's going to be an exciting game, which I'll be talking about more this week. We'll be talking about the SWAC Championship game coming up, the implications that it has, what it means for the Celebration Bowl. On Friday, I will be talking about who I think has the better chance of winning the hopefully not at my job. Don't have me working. I got you, bro. I got you, broski. But yeah, my opinion on who I think will have the better chance against South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl. So we'll be talking about all that stuff this week. But for those of you who are just now tuning in for the very first time in the Quad with Nick Eden, In the Quad with Nick Eden covers all of the trending topics across the HBCU diaspora. That's TikTok, Fizz, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter/X, Facebook, fan base. I guess we're adding Blue Sky to this now. So we got a lot going on. And on those topics are condensed. This is our regular show. They're condensed into 4 main topics. And then the second part of the show, which is my favorite, would be our fam topics, which are the questions and comments that you have submitted to the show. Now, today is a little bit different, and I want to do some house cleaning really quickly before I get actually into the review. Today is a little bit different because what we are doing on Mondays is we review the calendar, the HBCU Twitter weekly calendar that made all of this possible to begin with. So if this is your first time tuning in, you're in for a treat. This entire show, we're going to be talking about all the events of last week that made the calendar. And then immediately after the show, well, probably about 30 minutes after the show or so, I'm going to drop the calendar on Twitter. So that's been the format the last 3 weeks. It's done very well. The numbers have done very well. And you all seem to enjoy it. So I think it's only fitting that we keep that going. But y'all, just a little bit of house cleaning before we get into that. The first thing, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. about if I was going to be continuing the calendar into the new year. As it stands right now, I've got two options that I'm going to do because I don't want to just stop the calendar completely. That to me is just a little bit that be kind of anti what I've been building with this thing over the last year and some months. So I don't think that I'm going to stop the calendar completely, but I'm going to do one of two things. Either A, I'm going to continue as normal, which is dropping the calendar and permanently dropping the calendar on Monday after the review on the show. That's the first thing. And the second option is going to be me taking, instead of just dropping it just at one time on Monday, throughout the week, dropping like a breaking news kind of thing. Like, I'm aging myself here, but if you remember the MTV breaking news back in the day, it's just these little video shorts with each of the things that are going on with the calendar, and just doing it day by day, and then drop a summation at the end of the week. So it's not going to go away completely. Yeah, forgive me. I'm like here, back itching the whole line. It's not going to go away completely, but it's going to be one of those two things. I do want to know your opinion on it. So hit me up on Twitter/X at Nick Eden. Do you want me to continue the calendar as is, or would you like to see it in that kind of breaking news platform? Now, if we do that, then I think that it gives us an opportunity to just kind of, in the moment, really dig into what's going on and trending right then. And if you remember, originally when I started the calendar, I used to drop it on Wednesday, and then like the first 3 days on Wednesday, and then the last 4 days on first 4 days on Wednesday, and the last 3 days on Saturday, which was cool, but it was kind of diluting the calendar a little bit. So yeah, we're still figuring it out, but I had a chance to think about it. I had a chance to sit back and, really just say to myself that, hey, the calendar got me here. Yes, is it a little bit extra work? Sure. But I don't want to put away what got me here in favor of, In the Quad with Nick Eden. They're both equally important, so I think it's important to keep both of them going. So that's where we are with that. Did some soul searching with that, talked to my folks about it. Like, my goodness, my mom was like, no, you need to keep that going. That helps you get the check coming in. So you need to keep that going. So, all right, cool. So I'll keep that in. So that's one bit of house cleaning on it. The second thing is the changes to In the Quad with Nick Eden. So I've been testing out this different format, and I think that going forward, I'm going to roll this out slowly, even though you will see a couple of them this week. What I'm going to roll out slowly is each day having something different to it, because I love the format of doing the 4 main topics and the fam topics. But I'll be honest with y'all, as much as fam topics is like my favorite part of the show, hands down, because I get to hear from y'all, lately people have been getting a little bit more out of pocket. And then sometimes I'll have, some that, have to move over to the next day or whatever the case may be. But I don't want the show to just be monotonous. I want y'all to tune in. I want y'all to have segments that are your favorites, which was my original vision of the show, was just to have something that was a variety for everyone. And Scotty talked about it on his show, Oscar. Originally, this was pitched as a variety show. And I do want to keep that because I want to kind of put together all the things that make HBCU culture, what we do. It's not just trending news. It's not just this or that. There's a lot more to us than just, some drama or, things like that. So one of the things that I'll be rolling out this week, as a matter of fact, tomorrow will be my Tuesday Top 10. So Tuesday Top 10 is going to be a segment where we talk about different scenarios. You'll actually see the tweet going out about that a little bit later because I want your input on it. And tomorrow's Tuesday Top 10 is going to be top 10 TV or movie characters that you just know went to HBCUs, right? So that's one thing. And then we've got our TikTok Thursdays with some of the top TikTok videos about HBCUs that go on. And then there's actually an educational portion of this because since I answered that last fan topic that talked about the gentleman that wanted to go, or gentleman, lady, or non-gender conforming individual that wanted to go back to school, I've gotten a bunch of people to reach out to me about, hey, I want to go back to school, finish my degree. And let me say this, man, y'all, please listen. If there's somebody who went to an HBCU and they didn't finish, but they're still like gung-ho about finishing there, hey, man, don't shame them. Don't shame them for not being a graduate. I've gotten that a lot. I ran into a few people, not just from Alabama State, but from other schools that were at Turkey Day Classic that mentioned it to me, and it got me to thinking, well, there are several programs that, allow you to fast track your degree. They take a lot of your life experience, and I'm talking about within the HBCU landscape. And so I don't know what day that's going to drop because I still am going to keep like the regular format for some of the days, but I do think that it's going to be important to kind of add that element of it because there are people who watch the show who went to HBCUs, did not finish their degree, and they want to go back, to finish their degree, but they want to do it at HBCU, whether that's their alma mater or not. So, and from that, you're going to start seeing things like these different programs that are highlighted with, universities like Wilberforce, Talladega, Alabama State, Jackson State, Alcorn, Mississippi Valley State, Southern New Orleans, Jarvis Christian, just to name a few. It's a lot of programs out there that are really designed for that adult learner. And I think that they need to be highlighted. And even if you're not the person that's looking to go back, it's some information that you can pass on to someone who is looking to go back. So yeah, like I said, man, I'm really excited. The show is evolving, it's progressing. And, I want to make sure that what we do is, again, we're not just focused on drama. We're not just focused on this or that. We're really focused on, bringing some value to the HBCU community overall. So now that we got that house cleaning out of the way, y'all, let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going right into our HBCU Twitter Weekly Review. It's in the quad with Nick Eden.
Technology lets you monitor your pet when you're not at home. But to monitor threats to your hybrid workforce wherever they are, you need more than technology. You need CDW, who gets to know your business and can design and deploy custom solutions with pre-configured HP notebooks with HP Wolf Security. AI-enabled threat detection and remote management protect your endpoints 24/7, giving your defenses some real teeth.
Bummer.
HP makes always-on remote security possible. CDW makes it powerful.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, "You're gonna love this." He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, "These cars are going fast," I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue, with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
All right, y'all, welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. It is 16 past the hour, and Mondays have been dedicated to our HBCU Twitter Weekly Review. So let's get right into it, man. Listen, y'all, it was a lot. It was a lot going on this week. A lot of great, a lot of hilarious, some sad. But I do think that it is important to highlight it all because that is what we are all about. We are all about the totality of the HBCU culture. So y'all, let's get into it. So Sunday. Okay, let me just start by saying this real quick. Sunday, HBCU Nightly has become my go-to. for Sundays. If you all are not on the HBCU Nightly Network, I'm telling you, what you are missing is some hilarity. You are absolutely missing some hilarity. And Joshua Sims Sr., let me explain something to you, sir. You, sir, went from a year of not making a calendar at all to making it like 3 weeks in a row. And again, this time around, Josh didn't make it. So first, I want to shout out to Tennessee State. Coach Eddie George and his staff and the players at Tennessee State have done an amazing job of turning their program around. They made it to the first round of the Division I playoffs. And listen, regardless of the turnout, what they were able to do, having a share of the OVC championship, making it to the playoffs, has been nothing short of amazing. And I want to give props to them, give props to Tennessee State, give props to the alums and the fans and supporters that have never wavered. Now, there's always been this sense of ire because Tennessee State is not in the HBCU conference. Now, I'm going to say this much. I think what is best for Tennessee State is what they deem best for them. And I would rather it be a situation personally that they are doing their thing on the OVC side and still representing HBCUs. Not everybody shares my sentiment, and a lot of people want them in one of the major HBCU conferences. And so Josh put his back on the line and said, hey, we need to have Tennessee State in the MEAC, and made a very impassioned infomercial. I want y'all to check it out.
Absolutely. I'm on bended knee. We on bended knee. They don't want to come out and say it. I'm going to say it. For the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, we want and need Tennessee State. We want you. Clip this up. Somebody clip this up. Send this to the Tennessee State faithful. Tell them that I will be standing outside of the window with the boombox playing slow jams until they answer the door. I just want an answer. I just want an answer. I'm just saying. Because here very, very soon, you all know what's getting ready to happen next. You guys know what's getting ready to happen next. I don't have to spell this out for you football-wise. I don't have to spell this out for you. This is as clear can be. You guys know what's getting ready to happen next. Don't mess around. Don't mess around and beat Montana. Mess around and beat Montana. As a matter of fact, beat them. Beat them. Beat them. Tennessee State, I need you to beat them. But you know what's getting ready to happen next. You know. And when it does, we will be here. And I'm talking football. As y'all know, we separate the sports from the institution. I'm talking football. You know what's getting ready to happen. And when it does, because it's going to, and when it does, we will be standing here, arms open, and you can fall into our arms.
You listen, y'all. I am going to put it out there right now. Josh needs to be the commissioner of the MEAC. That's it. Listen, I don't care. Josh needs to be anybody that can make an impassioned plea like that. Look at the look on his face to let you know that he is serious. He wants Tennessee State in the MEAC. Now, let me say this. I think that Tennessee State would be good in the MEAC for a couple of reasons. I think that it would invigorate their fan base. And I'm going to also tell you why I don't think it's a good idea. I think it will reinvigorate their fan base because their alums and their fan base want to play other HBCUs. I mean, if you remember, matter of fact, on my very first episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden. Well, the second episode, because the first one was at OBC. The second episode of In the Quad with Nick Eden, I talked about how Eddie George kind of put out that love letter saying we need to play Jackson State. The fan base is saying we want to play HBCU schools more than we do. And you know, no disrespect, they don't want to play just Valley or UAPB. They want to play the big draw schools within the SWAC and the MEAC. The reason that I think it will work is because of the way that the MEAC is structured. Like, remember, they don't get into conference play until October. So you still have the last part of August going into September where they can play those out-of-conference games. Because they only got to win 5. Well, in this case, I think it will be, 6 in the MEAC if they have. I hear you, Jay, but I'll get to that in a second. They would have to win if they were in 6. Maybe if they added another team, 7. But they to be at the top of the MEAC, they will only have to be in, for 5-6 games max. They can still keep their schedule. That's a pretty strong out-of-conference schedule, and be able to play within the MEAC. So I think that it would work. The reason I don't think it will work is because Tennessee State, the fans and the alums, yes, they're clamoring, and this is no disrespect to the MEAC, even though I would love, let me tell you something. I am salivating to see Tennessee State and South Carolina State mix it up. I am salivating to see Tennessee State and North Carolina Central mix it up. I'd love to see what Morgan State's defense does against Tennessee State. I think from a conference standpoint, those are going to be some great matchups. I do think, based on proximity, they are still going to want to play Jackson State. They're still going to want to play, SWAC schools. They want to play FAMU. They're going to want to play Alabama State and Southern and Grambling and Prairie View. The fan base is clamoring for that. So it's going to take, some finagling, but I think it's possible. I don't think we need any more teams in the SWAC. SWAC is closed. We full. Damn, we full. But that's neither here nor there. But so shout out to Josh. That was hilarious. That was Sunday. On Monday, listen, we hit the end of the regular season, and it put us in position now to where there are a lot of coaches, and I've made no qualms about this. I absolutely think that the best coaching overall in HBCUs is happening at the D2 level. And what that means is a whole bunch of folk in the SWAC and the MEAC that's looking at some of these coaches at the CIAA and the SIAC, and by extension in the NAIA, because they're definitely looking at Coach Rome at Florida Memorial. And here come the SWAC kind of digging around. Now, let me go ahead and say this. Names have already been tossed around per my information. And let me go ahead and say this now. Everybody has these sources nowadays. That is true. Let me explain to you how that works. You got a whole lot of people who are saying, and they're sending messages, they're putting feelers out there because they want to see what people are saying. So they'll leak a little bit of information. Teddy Keaton is being looked at right now. So is Sam Shade. Teddy Keaton at Clark Atlanta, my Blark Atlanta Pyro Panthers. Sam Shade at Miles College, who's done a phenomenal job. Sean Gibbs, Dr. Clark at Virginia Union. I think it's Dr. Clark is his name. So what you're getting is, especially when you consider that even if, because I think they're going to extend Maynard at A&M, within a year, if they're not coming out with a title, in that year, I don't see them re-upping Coach Maynard. I don't. As much as I like him, I don't see that happening. So that's going to be coming up in a year. You got Prairie View they got rid of Bo McDowell. You got Norfolk State just got rid of Dawson Odoms. You've got a lot, and then the speculation that Coach Mickey Joseph is going to be leaving Grambling. There's a lot of openings coming up at the Division I level. And while I personally would love to see those coaches stay on the D2 level and build dynasties at their programs, I do understand, one, if you're at the D2 level, let's say you're making mid-range 70, 80 grand a year, you got the opportunity to go to a Division I school with more scholarships and, make closer in the range to like 200, 230, 250. Oh, yeah. Because make no mistake about it. If I'm Sam Shade and I just barreled through the SIAC and I just went to the first round of Division II playoffs, you're paying me top dollar to come to a Division I school. And if I'm being honest, were it not for a situation where I feel confident that Coach E-Rob was going to get extended at Alabama State, I would be pulling Sam Shade down to Montgomery. Hey, come and look at these facilities. Come and look at these, just take a look around, get a feel for it. Let me look. How do you feel? How do you feel right now? Does this feel good to you? I'm the same thing. If I'm Dr. Williams and I'm at Alabama A&M, it's going to be like a housewarming, open house. Coach Shade, come on up here. See these beautiful facilities at Alabama A&M. See this beautiful campus. Come on, let's look at these facilities. It ain't Alabama State, but we got some good facilities. We cool. I think at this point, and for anybody that's looking, Coach Teddy Keaton, who is a program rebuilder, that's somebody that you want coming into that program. That's somebody you want coming into that program. So yeah, SWAC and MEAC are poking their nose around right now. They're seeing what the climate is. They're seeing what's good around here, and so we're gonna see. Again, per sources, there are a couple that have already been contacted. There are some possible offers, and we're gonna see. It's not going to take a long time. Like, remember last year, we were still talking about coaching updates well into the new year. It's not going to take that long. The SWAC and MEAC schools are moving very rapidly at replacing some of these coaches. So yeah, D2. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, that was Monday. Now, this is HBCU related. Yes, because of the bands. But this had everybody talking. Y'all favorite vanilla rapper, Aubrey Drake Graham. Let me pull up this article. Now, I said at the top of last year, Drake does not need to poke the bear at Kendrick. He just doesn't. Y'all already know. Last week, Drake filed a lawsuit. His company filed a lawsuit against both Universal Music Group, to which he's currently signed, and Spotify, claiming that the numbers were fudged and there was payola and promotion to boost up the streams of Not Like Us to make it a bigger record than it was. This came off the major L that Drake took. And let me just go ahead and say this personally, but then I'm going to get into this actual article from Baller Alert. I can't speak for anybody. I've been playing Not Like Us consistently since the summer. When I'm in my car, I'm dropping that joint. And I'm going to play it like 4 or 5 times while I'm in the car. If anybody, you should see, man, my Chrysler 300 just be bumping. But if you can seriously think about this, there's no reason for them to fudge up the numbers on something that was so hot. And Joe Budden said it best. You better thank your lucky stars that it wasn't HBCU season. Y'all give them some grace on that, because the bands were going to kill it. Now, That was in July. By late August, by the time that they started doing the marching band reveals and the dance team reveals, it was right back on it because everybody had their arrangements and it kept going. The song is organic. It's organic. Jay brings up a great point. All the mass bands, see, the mass bands aren't confined to a semester. The mass bands were playing the song within 2 weeks of it being released. That was one of the quicker songs that was arranged and put out there within a couple of weeks. Great point, Jay. Great point, Jay. But so this didn't really work out well for Drake. It's backfired. This is according to Baller Alert. Drake's UMG lawsuit backfires as Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us sees a 440% sales surge and 20% stream increase. And I'm one of them. Because ever since the lawsuit, I've been playing. When I drove to Montgomery, I promise you, at least an hour of that 3-hour trip, I was running that joint back. Because I'm just like, it's just one of those things. It's a cultural phenomenon. It is. This is it's in the quad. It's a swag surfing. It's a no Vaseline for us early hip hop heads. Like, this is cultural. This goes beyond just being a hot song of the moment. Drake's recent lawsuit against again, this comes from Baller Alert. Drake's recent lawsuit against Universal Music Group has seemingly backfired in a big way, inadvertently boosting Kendrick Lamar's streams. The legal filings, which accuse UMG of artificially boosting the popularity of Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us, through streaming bots and payola, have resulted in a massive 440% increase in the song's sales and a 20% rise in streams. Since the filing on November 25th, the track has surged back up the charts on both Apple Music and Spotify, even making a significant jump on Spotify's global chart. The unexpected outcome has led industry experts to warn Drake that his legal battle might be doing more harm than good. I 100% agree. You're killing yourself right now, Aubrey. While Drake claims that UMG defamed him by releasing a song that accuses him of being a pedophile, the lawsuit has only drawn more attention to the track. Music industry insiders have pointed out that this could be a case of the Streisand effect, where attempting to suppress something only amplifies it. Entertainment lawyer Kevin Cassini even speculated that Drake's filing will likely lead to even more streams for Not Like Us. Despite increasing attention on Kendrick's track, Drake legal filings are technically pre-action petitions, meaning he is seeking information before potentially filing a full lawsuit. As of now, it remains unclear what the next steps will be in this highly publicized legal battle. However, the surge in popularity of Kendrick Lamar's songs and the backlash against Drake's legal strategy highlights the unpredictable nature of the music industry's legal and promotional battles. Let me go ahead and say this, Drake. Go ahead and say this, Aubrey, real quick. If you do proceed with a lawsuit, you had better not go for a defamation lawsuit against Kendrick. And when this happened, I talked to a couple of my lawyer friends, and they were like, if I'm Kendrick Lamar, my lawyers have a countersuit ready, which I don't necessarily think that Kendrick Lamar would do, but if you force his hand, I think he will. Right now, if you notice, this pre-action is against Universal Music Group and Spotify, which will be detrimental, even if he leaves Universal. Spotify is the biggest streaming platform in the world. You really want to poke that bear? I don't think you want to do that. But the deal is, if he goes after Kendrick for anything defamation, Kendrick's countersuit for Drake saying that he beat his wife and that his son wasn't his, Drake, I'm telling you, let this go. Let it go. Disappear for a year. Come back on some inspirational guru type mess. I'm telling you, bro, let this go. Because as the graphic shows, you poked the bear. And when he stung back, nice, let me ruin everybody. Let me say this and let me say that. Bro, you want a shot of heroin before you want that. Y'all, we're going to take our next commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be back into the HBCU Twitter Weekly Review. It's in the quad with Nick.
When I push, I feel push.
push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, you're gonna love this. He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, these cars are going fast, I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Yeah, welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden. We are at the halfway point on the calendar. Forgive me if I'm just a little bit somber. I really hate to have to read this next one, but it is what we're talking about, and I also want to give this young man his flowers. But I do want to say rest in peace to Medrick Burnett Jr. of Alabama A&M. Medrick sustained an injury at the Magic City Classic and had been in the hospital since then. We were all praying for a speedy recovery. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I'm not going to share the article, and honestly, I didn't want to read the article, but I do think there are some important things to cover in that. This came to us from CNN.com. Alabama A&M football player dies a month after in-game head injury. An Alabama A&M football player who suffered a head injury during the game in October has died, officials said. Medrick Burnett Jr., 20, was playing his first season as a linebacker with Alabama A&M University when he sustained a head injury during the Magic City Classic in Birmingham against in-state rivals Alabama State University on October 26th. The Jefferson County coroner said in a statement Friday. The coroner listed his official time of death as late Wednesday afternoon. It was actually 5:43 p.m. When he passed that Wednesday. The Alabama A&M athletic department announced Burnett's death on Wednesday morning and then sent out a retraction later that day. The second statement said the initial news of Burnett's death came from an immediate family member on Tuesday evening. The redshirt freshman from Lakewood, California, joined Alabama A&M's team over the summer after starting his college career at Grambling State, according to the athletics department. Spokesperson for the athletics department could not be reached by phone on Friday. Burnett played in 7 games and made 5 tackles, including 3 against Austin Peay. Why did I read that? Let's do this real quick. I want to address something really quickly. A couple of things, actually. One that actually impacts Friday. And the first thing is, and y'all got to forgive me, I am a little bit emotional about this. It makes me think about those of us who are parents and have children in college and how you never want to have that happen, right? You send your children off to get an education, to better their lives. You never want to bury a child, right? But the news did go out Wednesday morning. I can tell you, I got a text about it Tuesday night. I got a text about it Tuesday night, probably around 8:00, and I was super hesitant to post about it. I didn't post about it until Wednesday afternoon, and when I did, I posted from the HBCU Plus Twitter page and Instagram. I was hesitant because for me, I was in my mind, I'm like, okay, even though the source was ridiculously close and got actual confirmation, and let me go ahead and say this. The confirmation came from Medrick's father on Tuesday. The confirmation came from Medrick's father. That is where it came from. I got a text Tuesday night. I said, I was asleep when I got it. And I got up at like maybe 1 a.m. I was like, I don't feel comfortable because I'm scouring everything and I don't see it. So Wednesday, I waited for Alabama A&M to post. I said I would feel much, and I reached out to the folks at Urban Edge. I said, hey, I would feel more comfortable if we did it. And they were like, look, we completely agree. When the post went out from A&M, it was like, okay, go ahead and send it out. And a lot of people did share, not just HBCU Plus, but HBCU Go. Everybody in the space. Everybody in the space. So when it came back and it was retracted, we pulled it down. We retracted it. And let me just say this. There are a lot of people, personalities, official and unofficial, on Twitter who reposted it themselves. And then when the retraction came, all of a sudden it was like, this is why, you can't go for just breaking news, which I agree with, but you did it yourself. When you start taking your personal issue with an outlet or a school or a personality or whatever the case may be, and use this as a reason to it, when you yourself or your organization posted about it, that's crappy, because at the end of the day, this is this young man's life. I don't see any reason to bring up this organization's name, but that was really crappy on your part. There was no reason to do this. You do not use a situation like this to further your personal gripe. Grow up. Grow up. That's the first thing. The second thing, Friday, during the Alabama A&M, Florida A&M game at Bragg, the announcer, once they had confirmed it, because again, it happened Wednesday, 5:43 p.m. Another cycle of, hey, it is confirmed he is deceased, went out Friday. And during the game, right before the last drive, the announcer from Florida A&M asked for a moment of silence for Medrick Burnett Jr. People have speculated as to why. I do not believe. I can't even say I don't believe. I hope and pray, really, for the souls of these people, that announcement was not made to stifle that last drive. I'm hoping that's not the case. I don't necessarily think that that's the case, but at best, it was the worst possible timing, because you could see it from TV, and for sure the people who were there could see it. Those young men broke down on that sideline. That is their classmate, their friend, their brother. And some of them did not even know. Some of them were still holding out hope. A lot of them were playing that game like, we're doing this for him. It was, like I said, at worst, it was a nefarious thing to do that should never happen again. At best, it was piss poor timing. At best, it was piss poor timing. And even at best, and I have not seen anything. So if there has been one, y'all let me know. There should definitely, not from FAMU, but from that announcer specifically, he owes them an apology. He owes them an apology. It was piss poor timing. At the very best, with the most altruistic intention, it was piss poor timing, and he owes them an apology. I've just seen a couple of cases this week where the events surrounding this young man's death, it just should not have gone the way it did. It shouldn't. So I'm not going to toil over it that much longer. I'm going to take a commercial break, get myself together. But we have to do better collectively. I don't think anything else needs to be said about this. So we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back in the quad with Nick Eden.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
When I push, I feel push, 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 push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
Hey, sweet new gear. It's like Best Buy hooked you guys up.
Pretty sick, right?
What is that?
That's our traveling trophy. Oh, that's what's up, man.
Ah, a goat for the goats. It's these pro-level setups.
Last year's trophy.
Not a goat.
Nope.
What if you could get all the latest and greatest gaming gear from one place?
Welcome back to In the Quad with Nick Eden, y'all. It is 51 past the hour. We are in the tail end of our calendar HBCU Twitter Weekly Review. And look, man, Thursday, it was Turkey Day. And while I was not with my family like I usually am on Thanksgiving, I most definitely got a chance to fry a turkey in Montgomery. Because belt to ass happened at the Turkey Day Classic. It definitely happened. And it was it wasn't even fried, it was smoked because Tuskegee got smoked. Sorry, Tuskegee got. And let me go ahead and say this for anybody. Anybody saying, oh, well, it's a D2 school, man, the hell with y'all. It's a rival game that's been going on. This was 100th anniversary of the Turkey Day Classic, and we definitely had a great time smoking on that Golden Tiger pack. Now, what does this mean going forward? We've done 100 years of the Turkey Day Classic, and I'm going to say this real quick. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me just say this real quick. Now, Tuskegee is trying to make some strides to make a bigger play within football and kind of get back to that old Tuskegee glory. And do I think that it's going to happen with them continuing the Turkey Day Classic? I don't know. You know, out of conference games, playing a stronger opponent does seem to make teams in a general sense get stronger. So maybe we're doing Tuskegee a favor. Maybe we're doing them a big favor. Maybe we're doing them a big favor by getting them into. I'm sorry. By helping them get stronger. But I do appreciate the Golden Tigers for coming to Montgomery, and I know that the contract is coming up. Maybe they renew, maybe they don't. But it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see all those beautiful black folks there. It was a beautiful thing to see so many people. 21,000 to be exact. And like I said, it's Thanksgiving and nobody gonna show up. 21,000 to be exact. But one thing I noticed. Let me go ahead and put this away. One thing I did notice, though, in all seriousness, shout out to Tuskegee. We did have a great time. I realized I have officially aged out of homecoming age. Seriously. I know that sounds crazy, but given where I was, like when I went to homecoming, it was great. Obviously it's more students there than it is for Turkey Day. Turkey Day is more alums. All I saw at homecoming was tennis skirts and cheek meat. And even I was like, young lady, come on now, come on. Turkey Day Classic was definitely the seasoned sorors were out. And we went from cheek meat to leggings, tights, some jeans. You can, when you still sexy, when you completely covered up, something serious. So shout out to the seasoned sorors who were out looking oh so lovely. And shout out to the nice family atmosphere. And shout out to Tuskegee. Yeah, joke, but shout out to Tuskegee. They did a phenomenal job, but we definitely were on that path. Going into that Friday, FAMU made a play. They said, look, we're going to start this brag streak over. And they did that with a 28-20 win over the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Y'all, please forgive the daggone train. Terrible timing. But, they did put a whooping on the Bulldogs. So, hopefully for that program, this restarts that streak at Bragg. Then again, maybe not, because they got some doozies coming up at home next fall. So we'll see. But I for those young men who are on the team, I'm glad they got to end the season on a high note. I'm glad that they got to, protect their home stadium, which is what you always want to do on your last game of the season, your last home game of the season anyway. And given that this was a team where the streak was broken, I do think it was important that they kind of left on this high note, and it gives them something to build off of the next year. And then on Saturday, it was a Bayou Classic. Now, let me go ahead and say something to y'all right now. I had every intention of leaving Montgomery on Friday, driving down, going past my hometown, going straight to New Orleans, hitting the Battle of the Bands. I was going to stay with my cousin, at least until I make this move to New Orleans. I'm moving to New Orleans probably within the next year or so. So at least until I make this move to New Orleans, I was going to stay with my cousin and then enjoy the Battle of the Bands and then the game on Saturday. And then I realized, Nick, you're kind of old. So it ain't really work out for me. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop at the house. I was like, I'm gonna take a hot 5. And I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, okay, well, that didn't work. So, but shout out to Southern University continuing that momentum going into the SWAC championship game this coming Saturday. They beat Grambling 24-14. I honestly think this may be at least for a while. This might be the last time we see Coach Dooley calling plays in the SWAC. I don't know. We'll see. I do not advocate for anybody to lose their job, but yeah, I think that we might be seeing that coming up. But shout out to SU. Southern is headed to Jackson State. This is going to be the SWAC championship game at AKA the Boombox Classic 2, and yeah, so we'll see. And like I said, this coming Friday, I will give my prediction on that, as well as my thoughts on what that's going to look like. And y'all, that wraps up HBCU Twitter Weekly for the week. Y'all, real quick, because I'm going to go right into my final thoughts. No need to put in another commercial. Final thoughts. It's some high stakes stuff going on this week. Whoever it is, and again, I'll levy that on Friday. Whoever it is that goes to face South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl, know that this is a situation where they've had 3, now going on 4 weeks off. It's not something that we're not used to when it comes to the Celebration Bowl. For everyone headed to Jackson, Mississippi this weekend, and includes myself, I say the same thing to y'all all the time. Be safe. Please be safe. Even though I will say the last couple of weeks, we haven't had any of the stuff that we've had going on throughout homecoming season. But, everybody's safety is still my first concern. So please be safe. Don't forget, tomorrow we got a brand new segment that we're debuting. It's going to be our top 10. And that is Tuesday, top 10 TV or movie characters that just know went to HBCUs. Y'all, please don't forget, if you're on YouTube, click the like button, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you know when shows like In the Quad and Black Sports Insiders and all the games that we stream go live. Make sure that you download the HBCU Plus app. It is free. There's a lot of great stuff going on. There's a lot of dedicated channels going on, especially as we're now into basketball season. There's a lot of great HBCU hoops that's going on over there. Make sure you like us on Twitter /X at HBCU_plus. Also at Nick Eden on Twitter /X. And I will see you all same time tomorrow